So that's about that time. 3:01 on the clock, on the dot. Today we're talking about how to develop fight IQ. As I mentioned before here, we're all martial artists and we could all benefit from fight IQ. We have martial artists from jiu-jitsu practitioners in this call, to MMA athletes, to boxing athletes, taekwondo, all around. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of value to go around. So let's see. We'll give it about one more minute till we get started, just to see if we got one more person on their way. Hey, Ryan, we got Mountain Man Freaking coming. That man is insane. Cool. So, all right, let's dive into it. It's 3:02.
My bad, I was muted. That's great. He's on his way, huh?
Oh yeah. Him and Greek Khabib, bro, they scare me genuinely. The way they train.
Yeah. Training up in the mountains is something different.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. So, back to business. How to develop fight IQ. This is going to be a very special call, simply because hopefully we could learn something that we could apply into our sparring, into our competition, or even our day-to-day lives. That would be preferred, right? Because when it comes to fighting, I like to use the analogy. It's very similar to chess, if anybody's played any chess. On top of that, it's very similar to checkers, if you've ever played checkers. Because when it comes to fighting, and I'm sure a lot of you guys could understand this, you have to set up moves accordingly, right? It's one thing to go into the ring without a plan in mind. You know, things change around in fighting in a ring. So things are going to happen that are unplanned, of course. But how to act accordingly to those things that are unplanned is a plan within itself. So to set up moves, to set up different positions, to set up different attacks is chess. It's fight IQ. It's the difference between a beginner and an advanced martial artist. The beginner goes in swinging. It doesn't matter what the other person does in front of them. It doesn't matter if they kick, punch, grapple. The other person isn't going to respond accordingly. They're just going to do whatever comes to mind, right? To each of their own. But the difference between a beginner and an advanced martial artist, for instance, an advanced martial artist has that fight IQ. Say if the opponent throws a jab and the other person ducks and reacts, they see every flinch that the opponent does, every little tweak to their game that the opponent does, and then they respond accordingly. So, with that being said, we are going to dive into business, gentlemen. Before we get started, for the people who are new here, my name is Jordan. I'm the founder of Kingmaker Society, Self-Improvement Brotherhood for Martial Artists. We got Ryan, boxing CEO on the call, co-founder. Well, you want to say what's up real fast, brother?
Hey guys, I'm Ryan. I'm the co-founder, and I'm just happy to see everybody's here and everybody's wanting to learn together and grow together. So let's go.
Let's run it up. Appreciate that, Ryan. And thank you everybody for joining. If this is your first call here, we truly appreciate you for taking the time out of your day just to improve as a martial artist and as a man on top of that. It's one thing to work on your martial arts inside the gym. It's a whole nother game to develop it outside the gym, and that's what's going to separate you from the rest. There's a lot of people here who have the goal of being a pro martial artist, and this is what pro martial artists do in their free time. They improve their skills outside of the gym. So we have a couple people on the call. You know, I just want everyone to get welcomed in with each other. We got Shaggy, Sandoval, Ryan, Lorenzo, Josh, Gallahan, Sheldon, Benjamin, Ryan, myself. Real fast. Everybody say what's up. Get comfortable.
How y'all gentlemen doing today? How y'all doing?
What's going on, fam?
Greetings.
What's up, y'all? Jaggy.
What up, everybody? Sandoval.
Excellent. My favorite thing about today's group of people, everybody who's on the call, there's martial artists from all backgrounds, from all walks of life, even outside the United States. So Kingmaker Society is going global. We have boxers, as I mentioned. We have taekwondo practitioners, MMA athletes. We have jiu-jitsu practitioners, wrestlers. So we all have value to share with each other, which is truly important. That's where bonds are built. That's a definition of brotherhood. Before we get started, just a couple of things I want to mention. Then we're going to hop right into business. Now would be a perfect time to grab a pen or paper, even take notes in your phone, because this is going to be some wisdom that's dropped, especially from Ben. Ben with the bars. I got to shout him out real fast. He's always dropping some bars.
Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And if for those of you who are new to this call, this isn't just me going about yapping the whole entire call. This is a group effort, right? As I mentioned, brotherhoods are built off of bonds. So we take turns, we give our own inputs. It's very engaging and it's very interactive. So if you like to provide wisdom to other people, this is the call to be on. Speaking of the man, the myth, the legend himself, what's going on, Willie? How you doing today, brother?
Welcome in, Willie.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Y'all talking shit, man? Y'all ain't talking.
A little bit, a little bit.
What's going on, y'all? Y'all good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, just backtracking a little bit. Welcome in, Willie. As I was previously just mentioning, today's call is a very special call because every martial artist could benefit from this. This call is how to develop fight IQ. The difference between a martial artist that's a beginner and a martial artist that is advanced is the beginner goes and swing it, doesn't react to nothing accordingly. The advanced martial artist sees every tweak in their opponent's game and reacts accordingly. That's fight IQ.
Yep.
And I think one more person joined. Before we get started, we got some shout outs. Love to show love all around. So, 2 shout outs. Ryan's birthday is coming up. Our co-founder, Boxing Pro, May 13th, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Happy early, bro. Happy early.
Happy early birthday, brother.
Appreciate it.
On top of that, Brian also has a pro boxing fight coming up June 12th. Is that right?
Nice, bro.
Sir.
Yeah, we're gonna correct the last one. Get in there and get more volume shots thrown. Get him out of there.
Oh, yeah. Man, I'm scared for your opponent, man. That's all I got to say. I'm scared for your opponent. Hope he has life insurance or at least bills, What's going on, Deontay? How you doing today, brother? Welcome in.
Hey, Jordan, did you want me to drop the link in the Kingmakers chat? You normally do and didn't this time.
Oh, randoms. I mean, if they wanted to be here, they would have reserved their spot.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So we got one more shout out. If he is still here, I believe he just joined. Gallahan. Welcome in, brother. Today is Gallahan's first day within our community, Kingmaker Society. If you could hear us, brother, feel free, mute your mic, say a couple words, introduce yourself. It would be a great time to do so.
So thanks a lot. I'm glad to be here. Background wise, I actually stumbled into this from Ryan's video where he was talking about the fight where he was like, yo, I need to throw more volume. And that's all my coaches ever told me. He goes, if you ever do decide to get in the ring, it's all about the amount of volume that you throw. So I've been kind of a casual with martial arts. And at the beginning of 2026, I decided to go back to my old fight gym that I quit like 5 years ago because I got beat up real bad. I decided to go back there and lock in. And that's my whole thing for 2026. It's boxing, more boxing, constantly boxing, and we'll see where it goes. You know what I'm saying? So that's the name of the game.
Nice.
Hell yeah, brother. I'm glad that you locked back in and that you're focused. You're gonna take the whole year and really lock in, and I'm glad you're part of the group too. So welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was a beautiful introduction, brother. Couldn't have said it any better. We appreciate you for joining our brotherhood, Kingmaker Society. We're all martial artists here. We all value growing ourselves as martial artists and as men. And it's, as I mentioned before, it's one thing to improve in the gym. It's another thing to continuously improve outside the gym. And that's where men develop. It's good stuff. Good stuff. So, diving into business, how to develop fight IQ. This is truly a necessity in any martial art. There's plenty of martial arts to go around, but this is one of those things that we need to lock in on ASAP, just so we could do our best in sparring, do our best in our competitions, because fight IQ is a huge portion of the game. So, when it comes to fight IQ, what we'll be discussing today: pattern recognition, timing and distance control, decision making under pressure, setting up traps, and how to train your fight IQ in training. You can physically train it, so it's amazing. But before we do get started, as always, I have a little thought-provoking question for everybody. And for the people here who are new, please feel free to share your input too. Your input could help somebody else, if that makes sense. So when it comes to fight IQ, opening question we got here: what does fight IQ look like to you in an actual match, in an actual fight?
Easy.
Feel free.
For sure. And a fight is not just one single thing. It's never one single thing. I have a different fight style than you do, Jordan. I have a different fight style than Sheldon for sure. Than Deontay. I got a different fight style than everybody. Everybody got their own styles, but you don't really notice fight IQ until you see the development of that fighter. So, me, for example, I had an issue with being a brute, of just walking forward because of how strong I am. Compared to now, I'm more technical. I think everything is if it's chess. I've always studied, but it took time for me to be able to actually see my development, like literally in the fight, like as the fight is going on.
Beautifully put, brother. Beautifully put, Willie. Hey, you've mentioned it best. Chess. That's really what it is at the end of the day. We're playing chess. Physical chess. We just get punched here and there. You know what I mean? Who else has some wisdom to share?
Yeah,
I think being able to
so
change game plans. Oh, my bad.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think being able to make quick decisions and under pressure is a huge one for me because if you tend to stick with the same thing throughout the whole thing, they're gonna figure you out.
Very well said. Hey, you're right about that. If you're doing the same thing over and over and over, again, your opponent's going to have that pattern recognition eventually. Good stuff, brother. We had somebody else who wanted to give some input as well.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had any sort of like no competition experience, no fights. But I do spar a variety of people, from guys on my level, below, and then above, right? And so one thing I've been able to pick up on pretty quickly is how people throw jabs, right? So a lot of people, like the guy I was sparring yesterday, a good friend of mine, I'll be like working with him tomorrow. He will consistently not pull his jab back quickly enough, and that hand will drop. That hand will drop instead of just, you know. And so my counter for that is always cross or overhand, and I will tag him on it consistently. Anything else though, and he's like right on my level. Anybody above that, I can't process quick enough to pick it up in real time, right? But that's a good it's a good start. But I record everything, so I look at that footage later on and I can see, all right, I see where I'm messing up. I see that, and then I try to and then I have a little card depending on who I'm going to spar, and I'll just have a couple highlights, like southpaw, put my foot on the outside, try to slip the jab, come back with the right, come around with a hook, so stuff like that's helped me improve. But it's a slow process, but that's why you got to be obsessed about it.
Oh yeah, man, you just dropped some wisdom that I should have included in this call because I planned everything out, but you just mentioned something truly important. Recording your spars, not even for posting purposes, but recording your spars so then you could rewatch your gameplay after and you could see where your flaws in your own game is. That's changing the game right there. Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, recording the spars are definitely vital. I would say one of the biggest things for me is understanding ring geography and being able to dictate that in the pace, being able to cut off the ring instead of just following your opponent around. I mean, that applies even to, whether you're in a ring or a cage. Maybe not so much for the mats, but at least for the ring and cage, understanding like how to cut off the ring and not just follow your opponent around is essential for me for fight IQ. And then making sure you're setting traps through your conditioning, building a rhythm, and then breaking it. Like get your opponent used to one rhythm and then switch it up on them. That way that they don't get your timing down, and it's always something that they have to really struggle with figuring out, what's coming next. If you're always throwing the jab, like the last brother said, if you're throwing the jab and he's able to counter it every single time, then that guy's never switching up his speed. He's never switching up the way he throws his jab. So that counter is always going to be effective. But if he feinted a little bit more or threw the jab and then doubled it sometimes, then that counter is not going to be as effective because he's switching up the pace. So being able to outsmart your opponent is essential in the ring.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. Beautifully said. If you're not the one trying to outsmart your opponent's the one trying to outsmart you. It's gonna be one way or the other, regardless. But you said a word that I want to highlight: traps. Traps. Traps are essential in fight IQ because we're planning ahead. Like it's chess, as Willie said. We're planning ahead to set those traps. Now, when it comes to different martial arts, because we all have a different journey in martial arts. We all practice different martial arts here. What does fight IQ look like in different martial arts? We might ask ourselves. So what I'm about to do right now, we're going to go through boxing. We're going to give one example from each. We're going to go through boxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, MMA. And I'm going to share a little piece of what fight IQ might look like in each individual martial arts. And then afterwards, I would like you guys to do the same, because I'm sure you guys have something to teach as well. We all have wisdom to share. Before we move on, anyone want to add anything on? Okay, cool. So, as I mentioned, there's different martial arts. Even if you train MMA, your fight IQ might be different than somebody who does an individual martial art, right? So we're going to start with boxing. And Orion has some information to share as well, because he's a boxer. And he's a great boxer. He's a pro boxer. So when it comes to boxing, my example of one fight IQ you could develop in your boxing game would look something like this. Cutting the ring off to trap your opponent in the corner rather than chasing him around the ring, right? If in a boxing ring, it's a square, unlike an octagon in MMA. And if you trap your opponent, and who's a boxer and you're a boxer, you trap him in that corner, as long as he doesn't have good head movement, and as long as he hasn't developed that fight IQ to get out of that position, you can really start piecing him up, getting those free points. And then with Muay Thai, what one example of fight IQ may look like, if there's any Muay Thai fighters in this call, catching a kick and immediately, without hesitation, catching the kick and immediately sweeping your opponent before they have a chance to catch their balance. For those of you who haven't trained Muay Thai, there's a lot of sweeps, there's a lot of clenches. Say somebody throws a kick to you, all you got to do is catch it, sweep them, and that's the end of that. When it comes to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, this is different than fight IQ-wise. This is different than other martial arts because this is a patient martial art, right? It's all about traps. It's all about fight IQ, in my personal opinion. One example may look like chain submissions, right? What a chain submission is say, for instance, if you're doing a submission for an arm bar, and you do that arm bar, your opponent instantly catches on, switches that triangle. And as soon as they try to defend that triangle, go back to the arm bar and get them where you want them, all right? And then last but not least, we got two more. Wrestling. Changing your levels unpredictably, so then none of your takedowns are predicted. And I'm sure Willie has a lot of fight IQ for wrestling, because he told me before this is a really strong base of his in his MMA game, so I'm sure he has some wisdom to share. And last but not least, my personal favorite, we're looking at MMA. This one, it's really different than all the other ones because you're incorporating everything into the mix, right? All the martial arts we just mentioned. MMA fight IQ, it looks like knowing when to stand up and strike rather than knowing when to grapple. According to, say, your opponent's tiredness, your tiredness, the damage on you, the damage to your opponent. Does anybody have any questions before everyone shares an example? Okay, cool. This is the fun part. Whoever wants to take the lead, please do so. We're leaders here. We got Shaggy. Let's see what Shaggy said. One thing for grappling is understanding your body mechanics versus your opponents. For example, Shaggy said he's a lanky guy and he knows when subs work better on shorter, stockier opponents. That's gold right there, brother. We appreciate that input. I'm actually going to incorporate that to my fight game as well. So with that being said, and we got one person who just joined in. Let's see. Welcome in, Amado. We appreciate you for being here, man. So back to the group input. When it comes to, it could be MMA, it could be a specific martial art. When it comes to one piece of fight IQ per martial art, who has something to share?
For sure. Of course, my big ass got something to say. Now I've done boxing, MMA, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, karate, taekwondo, and in all those things that I've done, I've learned that
You're a dangerous man, bro.
I try to be. One thing, there's a few things, I don't want to make it too lengthy, but some essential things that I know for sure. Number one, when it comes to studying, like just because you got a fight, like let's say you got a fight coming up, just because you got a fight coming up doesn't mean that you can't study like a certain person. To develop my fight game, I look at boxers, I look at MMA fighters, I look at solely jiu-jitsu guys, I look at solely like, and not just professional sports, collegiate athletes, high school athletes. I look at everything, even my own teammates. When I'm training with somebody and I notice something that they do, first I'll commend them on it, and then I'll work on it. Like, oh, how can I do something like that to implement that into my game?
Mhm.
When it comes to boxing, I'm going to look at Lomachenko because of the footwork, or Usyk because of the footwork, or maybe Anthony Joshua when it comes to like the placement or cutting off a ring. If I want to, mix it up a little bit, and I want to have some wrestling included with my boxing, I'll look at Yo Romero. Or if I want to work on solely striking, I'll look at Israel Adesanya or Rafael Fitzzaev. Or, like you have to be okay with broadening your horizon and being okay with listening to the inputs that are like being given to you. There's the crazy thing about martial arts is it's the plethora of ideas and minds that collide. Like you can always be a sponge and soak all that in. I don't think that I'm like the greatest ever, no, by any means. But when it comes to fight IQ, I take that so serious because number one, I ain't no handsome guy. I can't make myself look any uglier than what I already do. Okay, I can't do that. So I have to be good enough to where I can do better. Like in my head, I always feel like I have to be that way. Fight IQ prevents you from being in harm. It makes you look good, and it builds so much confidence. Like head movement, yeah, it's a movement, but like who do you watch with head movement and how you implement it? You know what I mean? Floyd was good. Canelo was good. Like even that guy Ben Whittaker. Ben Whittaker is amazing. Like I look at everybody because I know that I can always learn something, not from just one martial art, but from like different styles. Gordon Ryan is amazing when it comes to chain grappling. Jordan Burroughs has a great double leg. Jordan, you say I have a great double leg. I watch them all the time. You know what I mean? Like there's always something
Burroughs is pretty good. Yeah, you ain't lying about that. Yeah.
I appreciate it. There's always something you can learn from anybody, anywhere, whether it's a lower level or a higher level. So always be ready and prepared to learn that something, regardless of the level that person is, or regardless of whatever your level is. There's always somebody that can coach you, and there's always somebody that can teach you something, whether they're a coach or not. So with my fight IQ, I use that kind of stuff to help when it comes to it. So if you want to be the best, if you want to be the best version of yourself, that's what I chase. If you want to be the best version of yourself, you got to have great fight IQ at the end of the day. And that's a great way to have it.
Perfect. Perfect. You hit it right on the nail, brother. Right on the head of the nail. There, for everybody here, if you haven't already brought out that piece of paper and that pen to start taking notes, that's gold. That's gold right there. We're going to have this video uploaded to be able to rewatch what Willie just said, because that's not something worth missing out on. There is a martial artist that everyone in this call could watch, whether it's on YouTube or in person, to help develop your fight IQ. Good stuff, really. Round of applause for that, brother.
Thank you,
Good
bro.
stuff. Who else would like to add on top of that?
Dude, just like he said, be a sponge. Don't be a bob out here. You feel me? Always learn.
Students, that's right. We're all here. We're all students. That's why we're in this call. Always learning. Always learning. Anybody else want to add something on to that? The question was, what could you do to develop your fight IQ for a particular martial art? Anybody want to add anything on before we continue?
Like I'll add one thing on that he said that I thought was really good is that looking at different things that different fighters do and absorbing those little pieces. Because when I first got started, I'm only 5'6", right? I'm like 160, and so everybody who didn't know anything was like, "Oh, you should be Mike Tyson out there." I'm not Mike Tyson, okay? I can't go copy an entire style. Like, you can't do that. I tried to do that. It doesn't work. But I can pick up little bits and pieces from different styles, like Lomachenko with the footwork, or Canelo with how he feints and then throws, that little stuff right there. And then you have to go and try it out sparring. Sometimes it's going to work. Sometimes it's not going to work. And then the other thing about fight IQ that I'm really starting to pick up now, because I'm sparring like twice a week, is the pacing. The pacing is so important. And we were just going over this on Monday, is like a stance. Well, should I be bladed, or should I be a little more open, or should I be real skinny in my stance? It depends on what you're doing. If I'm squared up and throwing, I might want to be a little more bladed, right? But if I'm moving, I can't move very good if I'm bladed, right? So it's just a rabbit hole, and I just love going down the rabbit hole. What can I say?
Hey, you said it best, bro. It is a rabbit hole. Honest, fight IQ, like Willie said, like Ben said, we never stop learning as martial artists. It's a rabbit hole, and who knows where that bottom is? Who knows?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Great inputs, everybody, from Willie to Ben to yourself, brother. And I'm sure if we haven't already learned something, then we are about to learn something from this next topic. So this is the last topic we got for this call, and we've spoken about
Emotional control would be the only. Sorry to interrupt, Jordan, but I would say emotional control is the only thing I would add to that. As far as fight IQ goes, being able to fight with a cool head and not getting drawn into a brawl out of pride just because you got hit, or not panicking when you get back into the corner, maintaining, your breath control in all situations and strict adherence to your game plan, which you should have before you go into any fight. If you don't have a game plan, find a different team. But when the fight becomes grueling, you gotta stick with the plan you've already come up with you and your team, and you got to be able to listen to your corner. And if your breathing and your emotions get in the way of that, you've lost. You beat yourself.
Yeah, you're right, man. Truly, emotional control, big factor.
Hey, can I add one more thing?
That's what you're here for, brother. Please do your thing.
I think I'm on the phone. I want to talk to you. I think the one thing y'all didn't speak about, y'all. What happened? Why you
No, my bad. That was just great. How you told the drive-through lady you wasn't speaking to her. Keep going, brother.
Shit. Anyway, no, I think one thing y'all didn't speak about, how y'all mentioned chess. See, I'm gonna talk about what chess actually is in a fight. To me, when you play chess, you trying to get in the mind of your opponent and figure out. Yeah, most importantly, you trying to get in the mind of your opponent to figure out what they most likely to do, right? And I think how that translate in a fight is like you using bait. You know what I mean? And you like when you use that bait, when you set the bait, you like, I know he gonna do this. Or not even bait, like you just realize they tendencies. Like, I know he gonna throw the jab when I go right here, or I know he gonna throw a kick when he go right here. And then you making your plan ahead of time, you know what I mean, for when he do it to set up your counter. So I think like I want to say another part of IQ is like getting in the mind of your opponent, like getting outside of your own mind and getting in their mind. That's I think that's important too.
Yeah.
That's big facts right there. Tendencies, keyword right there. Good stuff. We appreciate that input. Good stuff, brother. Good stuff. So
yeah, that was bars. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
What you ordering right now? What you ordering?
I was gonna ask that, Sheldon. What are you ordering, bro?
Damn.
I saw a red wall, a red and white building, man. What is that? That's what is that?
That's in it now.
Hey, no. This is Jack in the Box, but it's some breakfast food.
Okay.
It ain't nothing too crazy. I just got I ain't going too crazy. It's just breakfast food. I got scrambled eggs, French toast, and a hash brown. I ain't ate nothing all day though.
Hey, man, I dig it.
Don't get on me too hard. Don't get on me too hard.
All right, cool. So, topic number 3. And again, I'm going to go through some examples, and please feel free to share at the end. So, when it comes to fight IQ, it's one thing to have developed your fight IQ mentally, but it's a whole nother ball field, whole nother game to develop your fight IQ physically. So, we've spoken a lot about the mental, right? But in the physical, you could go to training today, tomorrow, and work on your fight IQ. And it's going to look different per martial artist, right? Because there's, as I mentioned, jiu-jitsu, boxing, wrestling, Muay Thai, the list goes on. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share one example from each. And hopefully you guys could apply this to your fight IQ training. And hopefully it helps. So starting off with jiu-jitsu. When it comes to jiu-jitsu, how could you develop your fight IQ? That's a great question, Jordan. So when it comes to jiu-jitsu, how you could develop your fight IQ is your opponent practices a rear naked choke while you practice getting out of it, right? It's situational training. That's what it is. It's you're training per situation. You never want to be in a rear naked choke, and the last thing you never want to be in a rear naked choke and not know how to get out of it. Whether that's in while you're rolling, which is a spar. For those of you who don't do jiu-jitsu, while you're rolling, or while you're in an actual match. You never want to not know how to get out of a position. So what do? We train for that exact situation, situational training. So that's jiu-jitsu. We got boxing. As I mentioned earlier, practicing getting your opponent in the corner, and vice versa if you want to train for how to get out of that. Put yourself in the corner of the ring, and your opponent, your sparring partner, train specifically to keep you in the corner while you train either head movement or getting out of the corner, right? So that's boxing. Wrestling, this may look like takedown drills plus reversals. So it's offense and defense. One person strictly practices shooting a takedown and going for a mat return, while the other person practices sprawling, for instance, right? It's takedown offense versus takedown defense. We got two more. We got Muay Thai. One fighter practices a clinch and clenches the knees. And then the other fighter, I'm not going to lie, I should probably practice this myself because I wouldn't quite know how to get out of that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to practice being on the opposite end and either blocking the knees, breaking the clench, or doing like a little elbow reversal, right? And then last but not least, we got MMA, my personal favorite. We did this at the gym about maybe it was like 2 months ago. It was before my fight. We did a Shark Tank. One person's in the middle, and they're working on the mitts, right? They're doing the striking on the mitts, and somebody behind them goes up and they shoot a takedown, and they try to take them down. Now, what this is training is while you're striking, next thing you know, now you got to practice your wrestling defense. Break the hands, right? So, before we move on for other examples, does anybody have any questions on any of those? Okay.
I don't
Awesome.
have questions, but our friend Amato did hit me up and said that he wanted to add in that. Let me go back to his chat here. He said, make sure that we have a lot of light sparring so you can find flowing. He wanted to include that as his contribution. So thank you for that. I do agree. That's a great one.
Oh yeah. That's very well. That's a very well example of fight IQ. Good stuff, Amato. Good stuff, brother. We appreciate that, man. But anybody have any examples of a situational training they want to add in?
Yeah, of course. Like I said before, depending on whatever martial art it is, one thing that I tend to do is with every single one is to find out my advantages and disadvantages personally, like my own. I'm a strong guy. I have short arms, but I have a long torso, long body. I have great kicks, right? But I want to be better at doing certain things. So I find my advantages and my disadvantages, and I build off of them. So if I have a disadvantage in a certain position, I work on that position. Also, while taking in mind that, okay, I can work up to that position to get my advantage. What are my advantages now? And I work on that. And I keep myself always trying to find a way to grow from whatever position is like that it is. And then by the time that a fight does come or a situational thing may happen in life somewhere, either way, I'll be okay because of my awareness that I've had with myself of my advantages and disadvantages. So if I have a great shot, but I have a problem with putting my head on the outside, I'll work on putting my head on the inside. If I have a shorter range to work with than a certain guy, then I'll find a way to get around it. Like, if I have a kick heavy guy, learn how to check and then go immediately right off a kick, or maybe get myself an advantage in a position. So maybe check and take a step over to the right where their weak side is. Like there's different things that you can do. But I think that's one of the really important things. And also what Ryan has said before, in the midst of that, it teaches you emotional stability when it comes to you having like those situational moments and situations where you're in a bad position. Like it sucks being in a guillotine, for example. All right, Jordan has a great guillotine. He's not going to tell you. Jordan has a great guillotine.
Brother, when I started grappling, my first day, not at our gym, but my first day of my original class, I got put in 4 back to back. But
you gotta learn that bomb flu.
Yeah.
His guillotine is hard to deal with. So I had to learn, okay, that, by the way, thank you, Jordan, for that. You taught me without you even thinking that you taught me. But like, I knew that I shot with my head on the outside. So now I have to change that mentally. I have to get myself in a place where, okay, I know that this is where the issue is happening. How do I change it? And it has to be something that happens like in the moment. Like, so I learned from that moment, okay, this is something that happens. Actually, I saw it off of the recording that me and you have. That's how he does this. Okay, so the next time we train, he didn't get me in the guillotine because I learned from my mistakes. So be humble from there's nothing wrong with losing in the gym, but be humble when it comes down to it, and find out what your advantages and disadvantages are. And then you work on them. Once you find yourself in an advantageous position, start over, do it again. Because drills make championships. It makes you better mentally.
Drillers make killers.
Yes, I was gonna say that. Now that's a
I
bar.
beat me you
That's
to
a bar.
it.
That's a bar.
Drillers make killers, baby.
Bar. That's a bar. Ben, you got some competition, man. Ben with the bars got some competition. That was a
Man, man. That's going in the notes, fam. That's going in the notes. Drills make killers, man. That's going in the notes.
Oh yeah.
bar. Yeah, hey, you're right about that, Willie. You're right, man. Those drills, it's really going to a competitor's skill set inside a competition really reflects all the drills they've done
Yeah.
in the gym. Good input, brother. Good stuff. Anybody else would want to add on top of that?
Yeah, I
And
would just say like real quick about what he was just saying about analyzing the weaknesses and stuff and also your high points. Like it, I've done a lot of jujitsu, and jujitsu is great because like after every single class we're sparring, we're working on stuff. And with sparring and boxing, it's like, hey, we gotta schedule this, and this person got to be here, and this and that, and so the time that I get to spar is not as much as like every single time I'm in the gym working, right? Because it might you know what I'm saying? Like that's just it's kind of just different, at least in my experience with boxing. So how I was able to go from getting beat up and coming back years later and actually being able to work was I joined an MMA gym and everybody was doing conditional sparring with light sparring. There I was able to, okay, if you're pressing me, I'm going to back up and throw and then pivot out instead of getting walked down, right? Or, like initially in the beginning, I was always flinching and I was always looking down, so I'm just going to keep my hands up and you're just going to pop, 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 nothing hard, but just get used to those types of things and that type of conditioning. And I'm having a very hard time getting people to want to do it at my gym. And I have to get people to want to do it because everybody just wants to get in their spar. I love sparring. I also hate it. It's a 50-50 mindset thing, love-hate relationship, but I won't be able to get to that next level unless I have some of this conditional type of work. So I'm trying to get one of my friends into it so he can see like, yo, this is going to help us both out because I keep getting walked down by these bigger guys and I keep forgetting to pivot out or slide out and I just get trapped in freaking corners and then I just get pounded on and I shell up, so that's the type of stuff that I have to consistently try to get other. I don't know. MMA gyms are different than boxing gyms. Boxing gyms are like let's just go do some strength and conditioning and let's go fight each other. At least in the two gyms I've been at. So I have to kind of pressure people a little bit because my coach is just like, hey, whatever you do on the outside, but we're here for strength and conditioning, and then you're gonna get in there and get some work. So
There's a good drill that I've been doing lately with especially some of the newer guys is going. I do MMA. It's 3 for 3. One person throws like a 2 punch, 1 kick combo, and the other person's just blocking and getting used to punches coming at them. Because that's a huge problem with newer people that I notice is like the flinching and all that. I think going 3 for 3 at the beginning of class every single time really helps build that that stone face while you're sparring.
I like that. Yeah. That was a huge asset for me in the beginning because I would just be like,
Yeah, I've noticed it a lot lately, and it's been helping.
Yeah, hell yeah, love it.
hey, that's a really good technique, really great technique you just mentioned. I'm gonna try that myself. Hey, Sheldon, you heard that, bro?
And it's creative. You can be creative. You don't tell them what to throw. You just throw a 3 count 3 for 3 and go back and forth for like 3 minutes or whatever your drill times are at your gym. And it's been building like a good base for some of the newer guys. It's been giving them confidence as well. Also, there's another drill where you step in and stop with the teeth, but there's a lot of good stuff that you can do back and forth at the beginning of class to get used to that crashing, that impact that a lot of people want to avoid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, hey, very valuable information all around. Very valuable information all around, everybody. I appreciate all you guys, and I appreciate everybody for joining. I would say this is a really good call. I hope you guys enjoyed it also. And yeah, that before we are about to end things up here. Does anybody want to add anything on before we go over some updates within the community?
Thanks for inviting me.
Thanks for joining.
Hell yeah. This is dope. I like this shit. This is sweet.
Sure. Awesome. Awesome. We appreciate it, man. Appreciate you just for being here. Your presence is a present. We appreciate everybody for being here. So that was a very value-packed call we did, gentlemen, and good stuff all around. We all shared our inputs. We've when we first started these calls, it was a little tricky getting people out of their shell. But when we lead by example, like for instance, sharing the technique, Shaggy, and the drills that you just mentioned, it encourages other people to talk to. So good stuff all around. And again, those shout outs we did in the beginning of the call. Shout out Ryan, birthday May 13th. pro boxing fight June 12th. So he's stacking momentum over here.
Welcome to all the new members, and thank you guys for jumping in and coming right onto the call. I want to say that a lot of the new guys, they just sit around. So thank you for actually coming into the call and speaking, being active. That shows that you're hungry for this and you're gonna grow faster than anybody else. So those that are here now are the ones that are here at the beginning, and we're just gonna keep growing from here. So thank you.
Oh yeah. And speaking of growth, there's a lot of exciting news that we just want to mention over the next minute or two. So first and foremost, we're an official business in the eyes of the United States government. We got the LLC, we got the IEN Social Security number for a business, we got the business bank account. We're rolling and we're going strong. So I think that's very exciting stuff. And from that moment on, we only continue to grow thanks to you guys as well. With that being said, we're now global. It's crazy.
Yes,
King make it global.
it's insane.
We shout out Giorgio. He wasn't able to make this call because he's in Greece. He works behind the scenes. He's going to be the head of global, but again, he's in Greece. So we're expanding. We got members from Australia to the UK to Portugal. Shout out a new recent joined member, Felipe. We got all around the world. So that's very exciting. Very exciting. And two more things I want to mention. So Ryan and I, we just acquired a new department of marketing. So there's KMS Boxing Club. Is that right, Ryan?
Yeah. KMS Boxing Club.
Perfect. We got Kingmaker MMA, and please use these pages to help build your guys' brands, right? Because if we want to do one of two things, whether it be a pro MMA athlete or pro martial artist, pro boxer, or if we want to develop a career out of martial arts in the Big 26, it's a non-negotiable that we're posting. This is a fight within itself. Post it one time a week while your competitors, your opponents, the dudes you face in your matches are posting 3 times a day. That's all I'll say. So please use our resources as your own to help grow, so we can all grow together. That's the end goal, right? Your goals are our goals. Let's achieve them together. But besides that, shout out Willie. Willie has from day zero to currently and the future, he has been honestly a pillar of support. I can't thank him enough. And we are behind the scenes. We're working on developing a mentor team, and I would like him to be that head of mentors as we talked about. So I just want to say thank you, Willie, for everything you've done, man, and everything you'll continue to help, and you'll continue to help inspire people and do good. So appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, the fact that we're doing this and the fact that you started this, as much as humble as you want to say, we wouldn't have started it without you, bro. So, and me and my dream of just helping people, it wouldn't be done without you at the end of the day. If you know me, I'm willing to do whatever it is that's necessary just to help the people I truly care about. And y'all are now a part of my brotherhood. So if you need anything at all, please hit me up. I will never tell you no, ever.
Well, Willie's a great guy. Again, in your ability, Willie, don't overextend yourself in your ability. But he's a great guy. He's definitely been a very inspirational in this journey. And this is a God-given gift. I just act on it, and we're all growing together. And there's no brotherhood if it's just me. There's no brotherhood if it's just me, Willie, and Ryan. So each and every one of you guys are appreciated. But yeah, that's anything you want to add on, Ryan, before we head out of here?
No, I just second what Willie just said. So hit me up if y'all need anything within my ability. I got you.
I need a sparring partner.
I got you.
Come out to Seattle, fam. I got you.
Come out to Maryland.
That's
You got options.
That's kind of far,
All right,
man.
well, who's in Florida? Jacksonville, Florida. So.
Wow, that's crazy. All around the United States. That's insane. Besides that, gentlemen, this has been a really productive call. How to develop our fight IQ. If you guys
one day as we grow, we will do a Kingmaker Society retreat somewhere, and we can all link up. We will.
Yeah. That'd be crazy.
Right, yeah.
Retreats and competitions.
Yeah.
Of course. Absolutely.
Bring y'all to Bali or something. Shit, I don't know.
Yes, sir. But besides that, appreciate everybody for joining. If you guys could please just share, whether it's positive or negative. I don't mind. Well, just if you guys could please share a review inside the group chat. It's only as active as we're active, like each and every one of us. So we're all a pillar in a big empire. So please share a positive or negative review, whatever you choose. But a review is appreciated. But yeah, y'all
All right,
have
cool.
a blessed day now.
Cheers.
Be easy. Much
All right,
love. Be safe.
Appreciate y'all.
Later, guys. Peace.
God bless all of y'all.